We're just hours away from the start of what's likely to be a controversial and consequential series of events for this country.
That's right. Today, former President Donald Trump is set to leave his MarALago estate in Florida and travel to his old home in New York. Tomorrow, he will be booked and arraigned in court following his indictment last week by a Manhattan grand jury. Sources tell NBC News there are about 30 charges related to alleged document fraud. For his part, the former president has denied any wrongdoing. We have full team coverage this morning. NBC News correspondent Gabe Gutierrez is outside the courthouse in New York where Trump will be arraigned. But we begin with NBC News correspondent Vaughn Hillyard near Trump's estate in Florida this morning. Vaughn, good to see you. So walk us through, first of all, the timeline for today and tomorrow. What should we be expecting?
Zinkley, we're just a couple hours away from Donald Trump taking the first step of his surrender. He will be leaving his MarALago private residence at about noon here today. He will take the motorcade about 8-9 minutes down to Palm Beach International Airport. From there, he will board on his Trump-branded plane. He'll take that plane to New York City, where he will overnight at Trump Tower. And then tomorrow morning is when he will then travel about the 4 miles south to Lower Manhattan, to the criminal courthouse, where he will be officially arraigned. And later on that afternoon, he will then return back here to Florida. And notably, Trump announced just yesterday afternoon that he will now be speaking here at MarALago with it as his backdrop upon his return, with the expectation that he will talk about the specific charges against him, Zinkley.
So, Vaughn, let's dig into that speech you just mentioned. What else can you tell us about that? And what's the mood like at MarALago?
Right. I mean, look, at MarALago was the backdrop for his 2024 presidential campaign announcement this last November here. This is the place that is essentially his campaign headquarters. And at this point in time, Donald Trump and his attorneys don't even know the specific charges that have been filed against him. That indictment is still under sealed. He will have those charges read to him at the courtroom tomorrow. But for Donald Trump, this is less about the specifics of the actual case and more so about winning over millions of Americans in this idea that this is political persecution. He is trying to undermine the district attorney who is prosecuting him in this case, and also trying to undermine the judge who is overseeing it. And that, for Donald Trump, is outside the bounds of the specific defense of what the actual grand jury approved charges for. But for Donald Trump, going up on stage there tomorrow night to make this speech is very much about trying to win over the public conscience and making the claim that this is purely a political effort to undermine the conservative movement that he has been at the helm of for now about 7 years.
And Vaughn, the former president is also using this opportunity to fundraise. He brought in more than $4 million in the first just 24 hours after the indictment. So how much is this moment mobilizing support for the former president?
Right. He has now raised at least $5 million for his campaign, according to the campaign. And look, they're going to be dealing with the reality here that they don't have just this criminal trial ahead, but they've also got the E. Jean Carroll defamation case. They've also got the New York Attorney General's civil lawsuit related to the Trump Organization and allegations of financial fraud. That trial is slated to begin later this fall. So these trials are running parallel to his presidential campaign, and it's going to be crucial for him to continue to be able to fundraise and build momentum around this presidential run. And frankly, Donald Trump did not want to get indicted, but he did. And so now he is trying to twist it to his political advantage the best he can. Of course, all of this will play out for the public to watch in these trials, though, Zinkley.
A historic week. Vaughn Hillyard, thank you so much.
All right, let's bring in NBC News national correspondent Gabe Gutierrez outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, where the former president is set to appear tomorrow. Gabe, no doubt security there will be tighter than ever. How are things looking this morning?
Hi, Stephen. Good morning. Well, we have seen a very heavy police presence so far, and there are these barricades that have now been up here for several weeks. We're seeing more and more of them, though. We are expecting some developments today here at this courthouse. NBC News, one of a group of media organizations who are petitioning the court to have that indictment unsealed that Vaughn was talking about, as well to ask for cameras to be allowed inside this courtroom. Historically, though, this judge has not allowed that, Stephen.
And Gabe, we know the former president will spend tonight at Trump Tower, which is about 4 miles away from the courthouse where you are right now. The process of getting him there, though, will have to be very well coordinated. Take us through, what do we know about that process?
Unprecedented security, Stephen. As you said, 4 miles from here, the former president will have to travel from Trump Tower. And as Vaughn laid out, he's expected to travel from Trump Tower to this courthouse sometime around midday tomorrow. Once he gets here, though, he will be fingerprinted, possibly a DNA sample taken. What's up in the air right now is whether he will have a mugshot taken. There are ongoing discussions about that. But in terms of, how he's getting in and out, there have been ongoing talks between the NYPD and the Secret Service here. Still unclear that before the president flies back to Florida, whether he might speak somewhere here in New York. That's still being discussed as there again, still up in the air. But you can rest assured the security situation here is unlike anything we've ever seen, Stephen.
Unprecedented, a word we continue to use, and including the number of law enforcement agencies involved here. That includes the NYPD, the court officers, U.S. Marshals, of course, the Secret Service detail that follows the president. All have to work together here. What are you hearing from officials about the scope of this and any concerns they may have?
Well, they'll certainly be keeping an eye out for many things. Over the last several weeks, there have been hundreds of threats to the DA's office here. There will be thousands of officers from multiple agencies that will be involved in the planning of this. And NBC News spoke with the former NYPD commissioner yesterday about what he expected. Take a listen.
As this plays out in the months to come, I think it's only going to get more and more intense, and that security is going to ratchet up. And I would say from the law enforcement perspective, what worries you, what should worry you, is just the rhetoric. And as it continues to grow and build with something that we've never seen before, how does that impact people, whether it's here, whether it's other parts of the country?
And again, that rhetoric that the former NYPD commissioner mentioned has been on display here since the former president has been posting on social media. There has been an increasing number of threats made here to the DA. And one more point, Stephen, authorities are tracking they're labeling a peaceful protest, what the organizers are labeling a peaceful protest that will happen right here, not far from our camera position in this park across the street from the courthouse. A group of young Republicans here in New York say they will hold a rally headlined by Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene here tomorrow as well. Stephen.
A lot of coordination going into this. All right, Gabe, thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.